Are you a new investor eager to buy your first property but have no money to fund the deal? Or perhaps you're a first time home buyer looking to save for your first down payment, but it seems impossible. Well, you're in luck because in this video, I'm going to show you how I saved enough money for my first property and how I'm able to continuously save to buy a new property every single year based off of these methods. My name is Ariel Herrera with the AnalyticsAriel channel, where we bridge the gap between real estate and technology. Now, a lot of my videos are data focused. However, I do love touching upon how to get started in real estate and how to get your finances right. So this is the type of content that you enjoy, then please like this video as well. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any other content. All right, let's get started. Great. So right now I have an Excel spreadsheet out that's going to be a little bit of a breakdown in my story of how I was able to save enough money for my first property and use that for future properties as well. So to put it simply, the way you save money is to cut down on your expenses. So if you are spending more money than you actually take in, you're going to be in debt. And if you do the opposite, where you're actually not spending everything that you take and you're actually saving some, you're going to be able to save enough money for a down payment. And I'm going to walk you through what my old process was and how by just cutting your lifestyle and adjusting in certain ways, you could save so easily. So on the first column, I have some of my old expenses, and I'm going to walk you through what these were, how much they were taking out of my life, time-wise and cost-wise out of my pocket, and how I was able to bring that down. So as a female, there's a lot of upkeep costs that we believe are the normal things to do. In actuality, they're really not. They're just ways to get money from us. But to paint the picture, I was 21, 22 years old and going out often with friends and following a certain lifestyle, which I thought I had to maintain. So one of the things that I would do was go and get my eyebrows done every 2 weeks, which you see the frequency there. And it cost me about $18 each time to do so with tip. But one of the real drawbacks here is the time cost, having to go to the place, wait sometimes in a chair, come back. It's about 45 minutes time drain every single time, which means I was wasting about 90 minutes a month on doing this. And for the next one, another upkeep that a lot of women do is getting your nails done. So I used to have the gel filled nails. I felt like I had to do it every single month because once you get the fills, for those that aren't aware, if you don't maintain it, your nails are going to look crazy bad. That was $40 a month. And you sit there in a chair where you usually don't even talk to the representative in front of you for 75 minutes, and also the round trip of going back and forth. The real cost here is to do this type of stuff. You have to usually go into a shopping center, which means you're most likely going to spend money afterwards. Maybe you go for a quick Target run or you go to Dick's Sporting Goods to grab something. But you probably wouldn't have done that if you didn't make this first activity. This continues on with makeup. Used to not only waste a lot of time putting makeup on, but also having to maintain the makeup that I had. So that was money right to Sephora and MAC. For those that aren't aware, a lipstick costs about $28. No joke. My hair, would get it done every quarter, which because I have super thick Spanish hair, it's $120 a month. For men, I know you guys get your hair cut a lot more frequently, but sometimes it's actually not necessary. And I always notice after I got a haircut, I always spent money eating afterwards because I was sitting in a chair for 3 hours. I had to go and eat. Next, clothing. I had this conception that every time I was going out to a new bar or a new club, I had to get a new outfit or accessory, which is mind-blowing to me today. However, this was pretty normal. So I would go at least once a week to the mall, at least spend $100 there, and waste, again, plenty of time, about 360 minutes a month on this. And TV, I still am a big TV person, but I would spend about 4 hours a day on TV, pretty much nonsense. I felt like I was tied to Grey's Anatomy because I've already watched 10 seasons that I have to just continue no matter how bad the seasons were, which a lot of us do fall into this trap at times. Then for drinks, I still today love being able to go out and to just really enjoy my time by having a drink at a nice place. However, when I was younger, I used to want that martini with the 3 olives, and that got costly. I'll show you how I actually still consume around the same drinks, but it's a lot more cost effective. Dining out, I would frequently do about 20 times a month for lunch and dinner. Birthdays, having bougie friends that want to have expensive birthdays, going in and out of New York City for transportation. The birthday itself, the restaurant's usually $60, and then you're usually going out somewhere else afterwards. Rent, I was paying pretty low because I was splitting it between 4 people, and that was about $9.80 a month for rent and utilities, which is really good for Jersey City. And to commute to work was $88. So, from what I want to gather here is that if you look at my monthly costs and yearly costs, I was spending about 32,000 a year on just these items. And from what I've walked through, you could see how some of them are just so wasteful. Like I truly believe today that if you saw my eyebrows, you would have no difference of what they looked like then versus now. And what's really, really important, most people only focus on the dollar. If you look on the bottom, I was wasting 3.88 hours a day just on all these activities. Some are required, some aren't. It's a real time suck that takes you away from things that are going to actually better you. I'm going to jump right into that now. So I came to a point, I'm commuting in and out of the city, and I realized, hey, this is not sustainable long term, which I bet plenty of you have had that thought at some point throughout your working careers. So at this stage, I realized, you know what, I need to cut back. I didn't go as heavy as creating a spreadsheet like I'm showing you now. However, I recognized some behaviors that weren't necessary. I looked at Mint, which is a good app to review your expenses, and I was able to see where my money was going towards. So some of the things I did immediately was just axe out eyebrows, nails, and makeup. Not needed. Could do my eyebrows myself. I think no one, especially no man, has ever noticed when I do my nails. So I just do no tips, keep my nails healthy by not putting anything on them at all. No makeup, and to have my face look nice or decent, I just try to eat as healthy as possible to have my skin clear. For my hair, I only get my hair cut and blown out once a year. I don't go to a bougie hair salon. I usually try to go to a place that's underappreciated. Sometimes not in the best neighborhood, but the cuts are always the best. Clothing, I've also scaled down on that as well. And I believe I should change this to 1. So for clothing, I rarely get clothes. Again, no one really notices the types of clothes you're wearing unless they have huge patterns on them and stuff. So I just go to Amazon Basics. Great, great stuff there. TV, I let go of feeling like I had to watch each of these shows that I've watched for the last 5 years. If it's not a good season, I'm not watching it. And I'm only going to spend 1 hour a day and usually have it on the background while I'm doing something else, like folding clothes. Drinks, even though I did love those martinis, I transitioned to only drinking during happy hour, specials, and having seltzers, which if you guys know White Claw or Truly, I don't care what you say, the flavors all taste the same. It's all pretty bland, but it gets the job done of being able to relax, kick back, and have a nice cold drink. Dining out, completely cut doing that for lunches, only really, really rarely, and just doing it for dinner. I'm at the stage now that I can eat the same breakfast and lunch every day, and it doesn't faze me at all. Birthdays, for those bougie friends who want to have a $100 plus birthday, I say no. And then if it's someone in passing asks me to come to their birthday, I don't go to that anymore. It's only if it's a close friend. One of the big key drivers here is I moved back home to live with my parents. If you have the opportunity to do it, I highly suggest to do so. If you don't, that's okay, but definitely try to live with friends or just house hack at some point so you're just not spending everything on your own. And of course, since now I'm living in the burbs, at that point in my life with my parents, the commute does go up to $350. So that was the one cost that did increase of all these. But the real neat thing here is my new yearly cost is $16,000 for these segments. And my new time loss per day is about 1 hour, 1.3. And if we go back to this other spreadsheet, we could see the yearly cost was 32,000. So in total, just from cutting down on my lifestyle, I save $16,000 a year. Now, if you're buying a property you're living in, you can put as little as 5% down if you have good credit and if it's for a conventional loan. However, with closing costs, it's usually 2% more. So I budget here 7%. First property was $280,000. So I needed 19,000, which you could see I'm a little bit off from that part. But hey, not too far off. So when you break it down of how much I need, which is a little close to 3,000, and you break that down per month, then per week, all I have to do is save $20 a week and I'll meet my goal within one single year to have $19,000 to put down towards a property. And on the other segment of the time difference, by getting back 2.5 hours of my life, I was able to get my master's degree, which mostly did it on that bus ride, able to put time into learning more about real estate by having more time to listen to podcasts, read, network with people. And the real saver here was actually using that time to start my channel. So for those of you who may say, it's really hard to find that time to learn or start my passion, just break down where your time is going towards, and it's really easy this way to help. But of course, you're probably thinking, I don't want to give up my lifestyle, right? And why is she showing me an ugly, ugly shoe? The main thing I hear is, well, I don't want to cut back on clothing and nails and haircuts, this and that, because I want to look good. Reality, what human being does not want to look good? Obviously, everyone wants to look good. It's a very simple concept. Yet, it's not that hard to scale back. Every person that I've met that's influential in my life, or that I've even come across that's stuck in my mind, it's not because of what they were wearing, it's their personality. So at the time when I was going through this phase of scaling back my lifestyle, these were the shoes that I would walk into a bar with when I'm meeting my friends for happy hour. And they'd be like, oh my God, those are hideous. Can you please not wear those mom looking shoes? I'm like, hey, they're comfy. They're $50. I could wear them not only to the gym, but also the commute from work. So I'm not letting these up. And didn't lose any friends, didn't actually probably gain friends, gain my networking skills, because it's not the shoe that's attracting someone, it's the confidence. And to reiterate that, one of my favorite duos, Michael Scott and Dwight Schrute, they're not sparkling and dazzly like in Gossip Girl, yet they are so compelling to watch and still one of the best comedics put together into a show ever. So to close off, if you just look at what you're spending your money on, cut your lifestyle a bit, amend it, but still make sure you do the things that you enjoy, you'll be able to save down for your first property, but not only just that, but be able to save down every year after. And if you're hardworking in your career, you're only going to get raises and have more money towards that down payment. If you have any suggestions or some tips of your own, please do share in the comments below and follow this channel if you haven't already. Thanks.